Will it publish? It still shows us live over there. Wow, huh? Take three, everybody. Q, 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 Q. Take it down. I dare you. We will not stop. I will not say, and I won't stop. I will say Q anytime I want. Q. Q. The fires are fake. Q. They're started on purpose. Q. How's that in your face, YouTube? Experiencing the Great Awakening. Join us, Q Army, let's go. Are you ready? I'm not stopping. Boom, boom, boom. Not stopping, guys. That's why they censor you. But that choice to know will be yours. And YouTube can't stop me. Can't stop you. We are Q. It's the information that you have, and we have it all. Where we go one, we go all. I'm a little pissed off right now. Q Army, and that's why we gotta fight. And this is take 3 for the Matrixxx Groove Show. Here we are. It is 9/10/20. QPosts, Purple Heart Edition with You Burn Bro 173, Part 3. And guys, get in here. Shady, come on in.
Hey, man, I'm glad you're back.
I'm glad you're back.
This is insane. I've never seen YouTube come after our stream quite like this. We're actually showing 2 live streams running simultaneously right now.
That's because we're future proofs past, guys.
Is that what it is? Oh, yeah. We're from the future and we're coming back.
That's right. And we got Nick in here. Nick has served our country very proudly. He actually has a Purple Heart. And we're going to cruise through these Q posts, and then we're going to talk about the Atlantic. Nick, come on in.
Hey, thanks. Third time's charm, right?
Well, you've been on this show 3 times now.
It's okay. It's all good.
So you've been on this show 3 times, Nick. How about that?
Yeah.
You're a pro at this.
Pretty flattering.
And thank you for coming here, guys. Oh, my gosh. How are you guys out there in YouTube land? Hello. By the way, QAnon. I said it, Shady.
I know.
Shady,
let's see. Where's the buffering?
Where is it? You're not going to buffer me anymore. All right, so here we go. This is the QAnon post from 9/10. This is a highly coordinated and funded domestic terrorism. Feds involved. This dropped at 2:20. This was on our show, guys, so we covered this yesterday. So it's highly coordinated and funded. It's domestic terrorism, folks. This is what you're witnessing, YouTube. And here it is. Oregon is on fire. Pallet company in Oregon City confirmed Antifa arsonist on camera. It's not the weather. Douglas County Sheriff has 6 Antifa arsonists in custody. Many fires in Oregon. Obviously, there are more to track down and arrest. Governor Kate Brown built this. What do you think of that, Shady?
I mean, that is exactly what we're looking at out here. The desperation is getting to a fever pitch because they really just don't know where to turn. They have no idea. The slush funds are drying up. The federal funds are drying up. The deep state funds are drying up. The back channel funds are drying up. They have no idea what to do. And it looks like they're implementing the scorched earth strategy here on the West Coast.
Right. And that's exactly what they did. And remember, they talked about it. And we'll get that in a second, Shady. So then here you go. This is a joint team effort, WSP 5PD at, how do you say that, Shady?
I have no idea how to say that.
Hey, Nick, how do you say that? This city.
I'm not even going to take a shot at it.
So
I'm not even going to try.
I'm going to say Puyallup.
Nope.
Puyallup PD just arrested a 36-year-old Puyallup resident. He was caught in the median of SR 167 setting a fire, guys. He's currently on his way to jail. Thank you, Trooper Ryan Burke. All right.
Thank goodness he was in that spot at that time.
That's right. And so the fake news media is saying this is weather. This is not weather.
No, it's definitely not weather. Like I was saying earlier on one of our other streams,
Which one?
This is really not to do with weather. And we've been listening here to the scanner consistently since all this started. And there's been multiple times, multiple people have found people in the middle of the roads trying to set fires behind the dumpster over near the mall. They caught a couple of people trying to set fires. So there's something going on behind the scenes that is not a natural occurring event, and it seems like they have been completely activated out here.
Well, Shady,
in California and Washington.
You're absolutely right. So let's understand one thing: the Sanders campaign is now running the Biden campaign,
right? And what were they saying about burning down stuff?
Oh, let's hear them in their own words, Shady. Here we go.
Okay, let's see what
Trump
they
gets
say.
reelected, what?
Cities burn.
What we gotta do?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a lot of time left. We have to save like human civilization, and obviously Trump don't give two about making sure that the world doesn't.
Guys like that. What are we gonna do with them?
Gulag. Liberals get to fucking wall first.
What are we gonna do with those people that resist the change? Because that's a big deal.
Well, I'll tell you what. In Cuba, what do they do to reactionaries?
They shot them on the beach.
There's
They
your
shot him on the beach.
Yeah, and those guys are, perfect citizens. They're very godly, loving young men, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, let's be
Trump gets
realistic here.
reelected.
This is the guy from Bernie Sanders' campaign. This is not just some random dude. Okay.
Yeah.
Joe Biden has adopted all of the whole platform of Bernie Sanders and the crazy.
Well, Biden doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Like Trump says, he's whacked and he's just a puppet. And they have infiltrated his campaign. Shady perfectly said. Nick, what are your thoughts on this as a beautiful citizen and a patriot?
As someone who served the country and actually went somewhere to stand up for his country.
It's really appalling. I mean, thinking about, you got to label these people as kind of how you see it. They're pretty much like domestic terrorists. I mean, the fact that the police protect the federal buildings, which is good, but then in turn, they don't protect the private citizens' business. I mean, it's just a really bad situation. And, we go over there to try to help other people, other countries and try to, bring civilization and morality and, just bringing, the American presence over there for calmingness. And then when I came back many years ago, but now kind of like the stuff that we were fighting for over there is kind of like happening here. It's just really sad to see what we've fought so hard for as a country, literally being burned to the ground by people who, I personally think need pacifiers.
Well, they do use pacifiers. Haven't you seen them at the raves?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, you see a lot of freaks at those
Oh my
things.
gosh.
But I mean, in general, it's just really sad. And then,
But Nick,
I
you
just don't
fought
know
for
how
those
long
people's
this
rights too, but when they start acting like asshats, that's when they cross the line. Nick and the people fought for everybody's rights. Where we go one, we go all. And those are people that we might not like too. However, we have freedom of speech in this country. And they're not allowing freedom of speech. They're allowing the bad people freedom of speech, but not us. Nick, what do you think about that? Witnessing what you've seen on this show today.
I just think that the BLM movement and, Antifa and all them, they're just like paid agitators. I mean, that's all I can see. I mean, because normal people don't act like that, in my opinion. And, the Democratic Party is, it's just, these organizations are just extensions from that party. And, it just baffles me how anyone could want to vote or support that. I mean, and I'm all for protesting. Like if BLM wanted to actually do stuff that was productive for the community, like march and then, take the funds that they raise and give back to the communities, that would be fantastic. But, in my opinion, I don't think they've ever done that. I mean, so if they actually, I just don't think that the statistics and their motive backs up what they're trying to promote. And it's just disconcerting.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, and the part of the situation that we're dealing with is a culmination of almost 50 years of what they called the counterculture here in America, and it really wasn't about peace and love; it was about control and dictatorship, and that's now being implemented to attack the institutions. They're claiming all this stuff, and then they're attacking our electoral college, they're attacking the judiciary, they're attacking the press is attacking our country, like what's supposed to be the fourth estate that is here to speak truth to power is now beating down onto the people and protecting the corporate masses, and it's blatantly obvious right in your face, and so many people are caught up in the fervor of it, or caught up in the momentum of it, or what I like to call the faux outrage is what really it boils down to. You don't think, you just get mad and you're pointing at Donald Trump and being an orange man bad, and you really do end up with a place to where the hatred that's in your heart, instead of it being in your heart, you can paint it onto Donald Trump and it makes yourself feel better, as opposed to actually deal with what's going on internally. And they've weaponized that emotion against patriots and against this movement and against all of you guys out there in chat and who come to the show.
Let me chime in on that real quick. It's right in front of us right now with the masks. I mean, it's how much are people willing to, in a weird way, submit? I mean, people know that, the masks don't do anything, but, I resist on it. I'm not out trying to prove a point, but I'm also not going to I'm going to submit to you guys and do this because, it's frivolous. It's absolutely asinine that anyone would think that they're protecting anybody.
True that.
Well said. And even Fauci said that back in January, February, that, it's more of a symbol. And then it's funny, the trolls go, and they don't work. They don't work because you're moving your mask, you got smuts, blah, 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 how he said it. Mm-hmm. And everybody's like, well, that was back then. The science doesn't change, guys. The virus is smaller than the N95 filter. The virus is smaller than the N95 filter,
the same program that they ran back in 1918. We found the history. We've seen where they were doing the same thing, like trying to make people wear masks. People were getting sick from wearing the masks. People were resisting the masks, and all this stuff that we learned through that experience in 1918 is now lost and forgotten. And not even a lot of people in the Q community are connecting back that we've already been through this. Masks don't work. 0.01 micron will go through any cloth you put on your face. I mean, there's just no resistance to what it is. As a matter of fact, it's debilitating your health and making your immune system weaker so that you're more susceptible to a virus, if anything.
That's right. And Cat Cuddler,
you can look at it two ways. Actually, look
Nick,
at what they did with the prisoners. They let prisoners out. But if masks work, then they shouldn't have been let out. But then they make our kids put masks on to go to school when the chances of a child getting it is pretty much slim to none.
Right. And okay, so let's just look at that real quick. A pandemic is when everybody dies.
Correct. And, yeah.
Healthy people, children. 6% of people actually died of COVID, and it's on CDC's website, yet Snopes says it's fake.
Like 9,500 or 600 people from the actual disease.
From the actual disease. The rest is morbidity, right? So they died of like heart disease or a heart attack or something else, right?
Yeah, some of them were multiple underlying conditions.
Now, Cat Cuddler wants to know where the proof is, right? The proof, I'm going to challenge you to go look it up yourself because it's on my timeline somewhere, but let's listen to this real quick.
Right now in the United States, people should not be walking around with masks.
You're sure of it because people are listening really
No.
closely to this.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. And often, there are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face.
And can you get some schmutz sort of staying inside there?
Of course. But when you think masks, you should think of healthcare providers needing them and people who are ill. Right now in the United States.
People who are ill. It doesn't work. And then you know what the common troll comment is, guys? Well, when was that video done? The science doesn't change, guys.
Like, what difference does it make when the video was done?
The science doesn't change.
He just makes me sick looking at him.
I mean, you know, but he did stand up yesterday and defend the president during all this stuff that's going on and said, you know, because they're trying to say the president didn't do this, he didn't do that, and all these different narratives they're trying to run. And he came straight out and said, I think that what he did was impeccable. It was unprecedented. It was incredible how fast they moved, how much they did, the way that he listened to them. You know, like Anons were getting upset at, you know, the idea that Fauci was there, but I'm hoping that you're starting to see the overarching play here, which is to paint a real picture. And Fauci actually painted the picture right there. He says that masks aren't necessary. Then he shows up at a baseball game where he's sitting there next to people, pulling his mask down. The news people have their masks on, but as soon as the press conference is over, they pull their masks down. So now you're seeing, you know, all this stuff going on in the left side of the media, attempting to attack us and attack people that are questioning it and attack the people. I mean, they even had an article that they printed about the Trump rally saying that, oh, none of the people in the Trump rally were wearing masks. Well, the picture that they put with the article had 3/4 of the people in the picture who had their masks on, but then they got pushback from all you great Anons out there, and they changed the picture. So they're consistently going back and changing headlines, going back and changing pictures, and adjusting to what the information you guys are moving around is, because they can't stand up against the people's narrative or the truth. Right. They're lost. They don't have any information.
Born Deplorable says, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore.
Good.
And
that's
so,
why we're here.
You know, Nick, I don't know if you've seen our China Week shows, but Chinese mind control goes like this. They put you in, by yourself. What do they call that? Isolation. Then they pump you full of bullshit. Fox News. So isolation, quarantine, Fox, CNN. They've all been pushing it, guys. And then you are actually trained to attack the people that go against the state.
Correct.
Or the shadow presidency in this case.
Exactly right. Just like in the movie Matrixxx, you turn into you're turning people into an agent of the corporation. You're turning people into little tattletales.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, the way the masks have made people in public, like, it's really neat to see other people, like, if you're not wearing one, like, you guys kind of like make eye contact.
Right.
And then you get like the typical Karen or Jim or whatever you want to call them, and then they'll, you know, spout off with what they want to say. And it's just sad because there's no reason to even interact about the mask. It's not it should be a preference if you want to or not.
That's right. We got 1,160 people watching right now. Thanks for putting up with the shenanigans. It looks like we're stable now. I did a couple of things. I rebooted internet, rebooted computer. Seems like we're good to go. I don't know if it was my fault here on the computer side or on the YouTube side, but either way, it looks like we're 5-5. So please share this stream. Also, we can't do this without you. We've got the tip right now. If you want to go to inthematrix.live, you can log in with your YouTube. Don't sign up for any of their stuff, though. You can just use your YouTube account to sign in here, and you can actually, tip us if you want, and we'd really appreciate it. There's the tip. Also, I don't know if you've seen the merchandise. We've got some really cool merchandise. That Q hat right there that I wear is awesome. Coffee cups and shirts. So please, if you want to, support us, we would really, really, really appreciate it. Oh, I forgot my camera's not on. Hang on. Start video. All right. So, and I got the Q hat. This is it right here. And it also says Q Army on the back. I also have a Matrixxx shirt. get one, have one, and maybe Nick, I'll send you one. Okay, so
That'd be sick. Thank you.
We'll talk later for coming on the show and serving our country, quite honestly. All right, so here we go. Let's go into, let me just move some stuff around, and let's get into the Q post, Shady. This is, let me get QAG up. Man, thank you guys for really sticking in here with us. We really appreciate it. Shady, what do you think of this stuff, man?
Man, this is just, it's par for the course. I mean, but we're gonna keep working around them until they stop us.
So to make this a complete show, I'm going to just run through this one more time. 4639. They hate this post. So let's cross our fingers and pray that we stay up. You got Newsom and what's her nut? We'll call her Pelosi, the wasted witch of the West. The wasted witch of the West. What happens when California's in serious debt? Lost priority from the Fed government due to sanctuary status illegal. What happens when California's in serious debt and all attempts to obtain a bailout from Pelosi inserted and pushed COVID-19 aid packages have failed? What happens when California's in serious debt and decides to implement resident overreach by extending statewide shutdowns, incurring massive economic further pitfall? Oh, look at this, guys. Interdesting. Low disk space now. And I don't have low disk space, but something's happening, Shady. Anyways, we'll figure that out after the show. Let's see if we can continue. After a number of fires in California per year, last 20, June to December. Average number of fires, 2018, 2019, 2020, June to December. Outside of standard deviation? Fires. Stated cause of fires, heat. By the way, stated cause of fires, it was funny. My mom was saying that one of the fires in California was a couple during a gender reveal, a pregnant couple.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so it's pregnant people that are starting the fires.
Way to blame it on normal people having fun.
Yeah. And who hates babies?
Yeah.
China, right?
Yeah.
Average temperature of California per year, last 20, June to December, outside standard deviation. Power lines source. What changed? What California programs regarding fire prevention, forest brush have been severely cut? What other cuts have impacted fire prevention and safety? How do you obtain Fed money? Declare a state of emergency and request billions in assistance. Welcome to California. Q. Wow. And Shady, we got the actual article that has been 404'd. Where am I at here? Where did I go?
Yeah, back up from there. I think
my thread disappeared. Where's my thread? Where's my thread?
Where's that thread?
I tell you what. I think we deviated and went to what's his nut? I don't even want to say his name, Fauci. And you'll see that his China connections are deep. He's probably got, an indictment or two. All right, so this is the 404 image. Am I in the wrong thread again? It's the 10th, right?
Today is the 10th.
Today. Oh, I did this in the 9th. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was the next day.
My bad. All right,
we get it. You get it there. I mean, it's all right, man. Just it's fine. We're all over the place this morning, guys. They've definitely got us outside of our rhythm, but bear with us here. This is very important for people to understand that this is not natural. It's not a gender reveal. There are thousands of fires in California. 400 fires started here in Oregon within the last day or so. Fires in Washington, no storms, no normal cause of effect. Yes, some power lines went down. Yes, some power lines will cause fires. But whenever we look here in a minute, you're going to see that this is way more than normal fires from the different ones that are burning right now. You got it.
So there it is. That's the 404 image. They took it down because I couldn't find it, and obviously the brilliant Anons have it because we have everything. Shady, kind of go through this real quick.
Okay, well, see, this is talking about the budget cuts there in California and the firefighters' budgets being taken away at a time of increased fire danger and already depleted fire services. Budget cuts are causing longer response times and putting both citizen and firefighter lives in danger. Los Angeles examples abound of lives and property lost due to insufficient staffing. Last July, the LAFD permanently lost 4 ambulances, 9 paramedic units, and 18 fire companies. But rather than addressing unsafe staffing levels, LAFD Chief Brian Cummings is unilaterally imposing a dangerous plan to remove firefighters from 22 truck companies. His plan is vehemently opposed by the United Firefighters of LA, UFLAC, and Chief Officers Association because of the increased risk to firefighters and public safety. Yesterday, the UFLAC and COA held a joint press conference to address the proposed staffing cuts and the scene of the fire in North Hollywood that resulted in 1 fatality, 3 injuries. Task Force 80 was first on the scene and happens to be one of these slated to lose a firefighter. In Cummings' plan, seconds mattered in the fire. Having a fully staffed truck certainly saved lives, according to Frank Lima, president. With Cummings' plan in effect, there would have been more fatalities at this fire. Another resident remembers almost losing her father when her San Fernando Valley home caught fire. Nearest fire station is not even 2 miles from her home, but the station was empty because one of its 2 engine companies was already cut and the other was on another emergency call. 53-year-old Jack McCarr of 63% of his body burned while waiting for help to arrive. This issue is not exclusive to LA, as unsafe fires or cuts to fire services are happening throughout California. Last year, Contra Costa County closed 4 stations and now planning to close 2 more. Vince Wells, president of the United Professional Firefighters, explains that staffing has gone from 31 firefighters to 72, and the proposed cuts would bring it down to only 66, providing another pertinent example of how local politics and budget cuts are putting firefighters and communities at risk. And so couple this with your defund the police move
Unbelievable.
that's going on out there, and notice how they're not protecting you. They're on the one hand telling you you don't need a firearm to protect yourself. You don't need a Second Amendment anymore, that guns are just for hunting, and simultaneously removing the people that you pay. Remember, you're paying the police department, you're paying firefighters, you're paying for these services, you out of your taxes. Has anybody in California seen a reduction in their tax bill? As a matter of fact, Matrixxx, I just to throw this in there real quick, Newsom is implementing an excise tax on anyone who is planning to move out of California, dude. Like literally, he's going to tax you if you try to leave California now. What is going on?
Disgusting.
Isn't that crazy? Like, how is that even real? It doesn't make any sense. But here we are. Either way, right, Matrixxx?
Here we are. It's insane, dude. Wow.
I just really, I'm just really beside myself at the way that they're blatantly putting this out there in front of us. They're not hiding it anymore. Before they were just saying, "Oh, you don't really need anything," and now they're literally saying they're going to defund the police and firefighters that you pay for. It's just absurd.
They don't hide it, Shady.
They're not hiding it now. They've been hiding it for the last 40 years, and now they're full on squared up, looking us right in the face, saying we're communists, and here we come.
All right. So, guys, again, 1,300 people watching right now. My gosh. Thank you for hanging in there. Shady, I'm going to ask a question. Somebody's saying no sound. How does that happen? But I'll leave that to my mods. Give us a 5-5 if you can hear us. Shady, are these, Nick, you're going to love this, Shady. Are these fires natural?
For the last time, no.
Aha!
No!
No!
I found it again.
No!
I found it, Shady.
Oh, you finally found the no button.
I got it.
No.
All right, guys. Did our guys give us a 5-5?
We got 5-5s rolling.
All right, got it. All right, thank you, guys. Okay, so here we go. Let's go to this post. This is 4640. I'm going to just kind of take you guys over here, put you down here for a minute. Thanks for the 5-5, guys. We appreciate it. This is 4640. It was 9-9 at 18:49 and 30 seconds, Shady. This is 4425. Q says to Arthur Schwartz, its status, it says full MSDNC blitzkrieg, known and ready. October surprises being prepped and warmed. Q, warmed. So interesting change of events. Weekly false attacks plus whistleblowers, false. First, Vindman coordinated Adam Schiff, whistleblower. False narrative. Insert Ukraine Biden, deflect. Returning to the news, legal. Adam Schiff, backroom prep for a second whistleblower. Adam Schiff, backroom prep for a third whistleblower. National security? Pentagon, SR 1 through 4, backroom prep, dry run, campaign refusal. USD, I, right? Underscore JCS, 1, 2, possibly. Refusal to concede narrative. Challenge legally battleground 4. So it looks like we got some challenges, right, Shady? Ballot harvest 4, illegally. California, that's probably District 1. Everything at stake. Win by any means necessary. Plan accordingly. November. Q. November's in the kill box, Shady.
Yeah, I mean, November is going to be an interesting time. There's so much that they're setting up right now. Interesting that he's pointing back to that about being warmed because everything is cooking in the background. Adam Schiff is panicking. And the whole thing with Vindman and all this stuff is starting to come out and be front and center now because they can't hide it anymore. People are too awake. I mean, let's think about this for just a second. I think we're getting ready to finish up here, but just to talk about the whistleblower and the Vindman thing, like they're literally put these people out there to lie and to cheat and to pretend and to drive a narrative. While they testified behind closed doors, no one said there was anything to do with Russia. But what they're really doing is they're protecting.
Let's just really, Shady. I want to just stop you really quick because we need to highlight that They were under oath in Adam Schiff's Star Chamber, saying there was zero. Shady.
Every one of them, all 53 collusion. Said zero collusion.
So when Adam Schiff put out the actual memos, you can go to Adam Schiff and find the Star Chamber records saying that under oath, everybody said there was no collusion, nothing. But Schiff has immunity, Shady, and continue your thought. And that's, by the way, that's right when the masks came back out. Right? That's the COVID and all these riots, these peaceful protests. That's what they're hiding, Shady.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And let's also remember that the first case of COVID to arrive in America on January 15th was the day of the first day of impeachment. It coordinated that perfectly. Remember how Nancy Pelosi had the big delay? She sent us all home for Christmas with like everything pending and no one knowing what was going on. The delay was so that they could plan this perfectly to try to distract the president from acting towards COVID, thinking they were going to keep him bound up with impeachment. But literally 15 days later, on the 30th, he banned all travel from China, sticking it right in the face of all of these people because none of them thought he would do this. None of them thought he would stop it. And whatever it was they tried to insert in our society, however big or small it was, did not have the effect that they intended for it to have, simply because your president stopped travel from China. That really, put a gear or a stick in the spoke of the deep state plan.
Yep, and that's true. So you brilliant anons out there and patriots, instead of attacking each other and all this other crap that's going on, why don't we get into this Russian investigation transcripts and prove that there was no collusion? Here they are right here. I dropped the sauce right there. Mods can keep dropping it. Get over there. Read it. Read it, guys.
This is what the people actually said. Your media is not telling you. The media on Fox isn't telling you. The media on any other, mainstream network, they're not even coming close to touching this, because this proves a direct coup. There was no collusion. There was no subversive work with the president administration in Russia, but every news organization ran with it for 2.5 years, including a lot of high up politicians, because they thought this was going to work. They thought they could fool you. They thought they could prevent you from going to really read this information. And these people all testified, the list he's showing you right there, all testified that there was no evidence whatsoever about collusion with Russia. This was all about trying to cover up what it is that the deep state has been doing in Ukraine and other parts of the world and protecting Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe and China.
And China.
Let's call it what it is. Foreign interference. And Q's going to allude to that here in a minute. Guys.
Sleepy Joe is made in China. I mean, wait.
Made in China. Beijing Joe is what Don Jr. called him.
Beijing Joe.
Right. So, guys, this is Steve Bannon. They just arrested him recently, right? We got General Flynn. They're just dragging that on because they don't want him to come out during the election or before the election because he knows where the bodies are buried. And that's why you see his case just dragging on and on and on, Shady.
It is. And their stall tactics are getting ready to run out here in just a couple of weeks, I think.
So let's play this again because I don't know if it was on this show or another one, but let's just play this one. This is the Sanders campaign that is now running the the Biden campaign for China outside of standard deviation. Stated causes of fires: heat.
So if Trump gets reelected, what?
And cities burn.
What we gotta do?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a lot of time left. We have to save like human civilization. And obviously, Trump.
We did play this. I don't remember. But we got the gist of it. Cities burn,
sure
Shady.
The world doesn't.
That's what they're doing, and they're burning cities right now, guys. It's sick. Now, this 4425 also shows us that General Mattis, Kelly, McMaster, they're going to hold a town hall with Bloodline Anderson Vanderbilt in September.
Yep, and now we've got McMaster with a new book, and we've got Kelly in cooperation. And right now, with what's going on with the news today, they're trying to drive all these narratives simultaneously. This is what they're
These
planning.
Are bad generals.
They're trying to weaken him.
And McChrystal.
Right? Yep. Mm-hmm.
McChrystal is Defend Disinfo. If you go to defenddisinfo.org, you'll find out all about McChrystal. And if you're arguing with a troll right now, it's General McChrystal. So tell General McChrystal that a guy, that when they're looking like Q and acting like Q, tell General McChrystal we said hello.
Correct.
And you're making them smarter by fighting with them. All right, here we go. Because it is
you're
AI.
programming
DARPA.
them.
Yeah. So 4641, Shady. This is the American flag. God bless America, right there, Shady. Nick, can you read the screen? Do you want to go ahead and read this post for us? Can you read that?
Yeah. The swamp runs deep. Sometimes you cannot tell people the truth. You must show them. Only then, at the precipice, will people find the will to change and participate. We, the people, have been betrayed for a very long time. Will you stand for God and country, for freedom, for humanity? Where we go one, we go all.
Wow.
And in my opinion, that just means we all got to come together. And, sadly, it has to be this way. Many of us don't want it to be this way, but it might be the only way that people will actually open their eyes to see what evil is behind the curtain that has been running this, show for many, 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 many years. And,
there's a lot of people that are Democrats right now that are like, I just can't believe what's going on. And that, Shady?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so back whenever I went to the rally in Arizona, that was back in February. Parscale ran the numbers on that event, and literally, I mean, I'm talking like there were 16,000 people or something in that venue. 26% of them filled out paperwork of some sort and claimed that they were registered Democrats. That was 6-8 months ago. So people were already seeing this stuff. And now we're literally seeing another level with what's going on with the boats and everything. And I was having a conversation with a buddy last night who's pretty upset about everything that they're seeing out here with all this stuff going on. And I'm like, look, yes, it's upsetting. I don't like to see this stuff going on. I don't like to see them running rampant out here on the West Coast and setting all these fires and doing all this stuff. But the truth is we have to let them we have to let them set themselves up. We have to let people see for themselves. You just Matrixxx, your quote, the truth is learned, it's never told. It couldn't be more relevant to what we're discussing here, because you cannot tell someone what to think. The media can tell people what to think, right? That's been their game forever, is telling people what to think. But once a person is broken out of that narrative, then they have to go look for themselves. They cannot be told what to think. You can show them maybe where to go look, but you can't tell them this is what's happening and this is how it's going down. If you approach it from that way, you actually end up kind of deflecting their attention. So people waking up on their own was the point of this, and who knows how far they're willing to go, Matrixxx. I mean, I don't know what they're willing to do at this point. It seems to me they're trying to save a 10,000-year-old ancient cabal from being uncovered and revealed to the world. They would throw everything that they could possibly find at it, and so it's not surprising that your great country is the only place on planet Earth where people walk around thinking that they are free.
Right.
They have to attack that, because if that spreads, it's like a cancer, and they don't want it to spread. And what we want is it for it to spread. And notice how they attack all the Q people, the angle that they come at us at, like, oh, right wing, fringe conspiracy. They're trying to turn people off in the rest of the world because they know the world is the target. Waking up the world is what we're trying to do. America has to help wake up planet Earth to the truth.
Yep, and the president just can't go run out like what we want. He just can't go run around and just start, jailing people. It's got to be organic, folks.
It has to be done on the local and city and state levels. That is organic. That is a movement. This is a movement. What's going on with Black Lives Matter and Antifa? That is not a movement. I know the media keeps painting it as like Black Lives Matter movement. That is not a movement. Isn't funded. A movement is organic. It comes on its own. It isn't initiated or orchestrated. The movement of Q is exactly that. It's tons and tons of information that is open source. We're not telling you what to think. We're just telling you to think. We want you to think, not tell you what to think. Kind of the simplicity that falls in line with all of that.
Well said, brother. Well said. We're a movement.
We're the movement.
There, Sandra. Hello.
That's right.
You guys. Zippity Doodah. Hello. Diane Gonzalez. You are the movement. Q Team. You're the movement. I am Gabriel. Alice. You're the movement. Carly's here. Oh my gosh. Carly.
We got to get to Carly. We're going to get to you in just a second, girl.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. In fact, Carly, stay tuned. I'm going to send you we'll get you in here.
You want to come in, Carly?
Yeah. So let's get going. So Anon says, Shady, cover this one.
All right. Anon says, hello, sir. USA, USA, USA. Where we go one, we go all. Reposting of the flag there. And then the strongest weapon in the United States is a patriotic American. Boom. And let me tell you, that there's no truer words than that right there. That is the strongest weapon. That is the reason for Q. That is the reason that you don't have a huge amount of people. Let's be honest here. Q told us you hired us to do the heavy lifting. And we were talking a little bit with Nick there before we got on the air. But the truth of the matter is there's a lot of people in this country that are sitting in their couches right now with their seatbelt on because they're like, patting their foot. They're like, I'm not sure how much of this I can take. I'm not sure how much of this I can take. That's the precipice moment that we're elevating to where people really start to get involved. The end game here has to be really getting involved in your political and community structure and knowing what's going on and vetting your candidates and then holding them to account for their actions if they don't perform properly. That's what government's supposed to be in America.
Yep, 100%.
Absolutely. All right, so let's take the next one, Shady. Let me get on the right track here. Let me just double check our stream. Yep, we're good. Here we go. So, Shady, this is the next one.
4643-992020. Hello, Carly. Thank you and God bless. Keep charging, Midnight Rider. Q. I wonder who he was talking to.
I don't know. Was it Karl Rove?
It might have been Karl Rove. Yeah, I think Karl Rove was on Fox last night. I think he was like giving a shout out to Karl Rove. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Did someone have a video on yesterday saying hello to Q?
I think it was our favorite Carly, Carluska P.
Dun, dun, dun.
And
She's a hell of a patriot.
She's amazing, right?
Patriot. She really is, man. And she works so hard and has brought so much information to this movement and helped so many people not only get information, but also laugh at the just absurdity that we see every day. I mean, we deal with some pretty tragic stuff, Nick, and to have that comic relief it's we found that it's imperative for our psyche. That's why Matrixxx and I kind of do this.
Hello, Carly.
Hey, there she is. Are you in here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at
Hey,
you.
I'm talking about Carly.
Oh my God! When I saw that, Carly, I
spoke
fell. I mean, I fell. I mean, I was like, "Oh my
You
goodness!"
fell. You fell.
Yeah.
I screamed. I have a sore throat now. I did my Periscope. Let me set
Yes,
this
bring
up
it-
for
bring
you.
it through
I
us.
did my
Do it.
Periscope like I always do. And of course, like you've had shows where Q starts posting while you're doing your show.
And remember, we were
the
on your
alarm
show,
goes
and
up,
he did it
and
to you
everyone's
too.
in there.
Go.
And
Yeah.
we're all saying, hi, Q. And I start screaming, Q, and the alarm, whoop, whoop, whoop. And I'm reading the post. And I'm like, everyone say hi to Q. And then because that Periscope account, they deleted that Twitter account, I have to take it and then post it, or Karlushka P, wink, wink, posts it to Twitter. I said, hi, Q. And it was all about Q in the post and everything going on and me cackling and all, my hijinks. And then 5 minutes later, you hit my inbox and said, Carly, have you seen this? You always get me first. You always see it first. You get me I'm like,
I don't know why that
let me
is.
tell you, I hit this high-pitched scream. I never held a note this long in my life. I think I passed out because I lost oxygen.
Carly, that's worse than wearing a mask.
Oh my gosh, Carly, I'm gonna grab it too real quick. I'm grabbing the link from your post so everybody can check it out later.
Go check out Carly's scope from yesterday.
My
and
gosh,
don't forget
Carly.
she's
I've never had so many views on my scope. Oh my God.
56,000 it looks like right now. Carly, why don't you please do us the honor and say hello to Q for us?
Hi, Q.
Hello, Q. How about chat? Let's hear you. Let's hear you say hello to Q. And Carly, remember when I was on your show and we were talking about something, and I think he posted with both of us too, what we were talking about. And
But he's, I'm getting hit with a lot of, with great everybody, like, because, I take this as like, I wasn't just cued. Everyone in that Periscope, everyone that's going to watch that Periscope, everyone, this was a shout out to everyone. And also, I think the fact that my name was used because that Midnight Rider, if you look on my banner, I took that Q post yesterday
right?
about the Midnight Rider and put it in my banner.
Wow.
And so, that was the reference. Now, I think also this is so, say, a lot of people are losing Q accounts because they've been queued, and then Twitter takes them down. So I think this was also to keep me safe
Yes.
from losing an account because, say, Q reference to a tweet or something.
You're actually better off with this, fan run account. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Karlushka P. It's at Karlushka P over there on Twitter.
Yes. She's the nice Russian lady in Siberia that posts my tweets for me.
Right? I don't know who she is, but she's good. All right, let's check this out. Let's see if this is it, Carly. Do I have it?
Now, what nobody would talk about. Oh, okay. Now, General Madison McMahon.
Right about here, right?
Someone posted.
Yeah, this was,
Here it is.
I was reading the Q post, and it's just a regular Periscope.
Now, what nobody would talk about. And it's about all the assholes in the media.
Oh, God, I cuss a lot. You don't want to play it.
I know.
Woo!
Woo.
What is that, guys? Did someone post? Carly said Q hi. All right, because we got a new Q post today, and it's happy holidays from San Francisco.
Did you say
California
hello Q
on
before
fire.
this or
So
after?
what is this? Q, is this meant for me?
No, that was, I said, I say hello Q through the whole thing, and then I posted it, and I put the header as hello Q.
Nice.
Well, not
So,
remember.
Q
I
was
gonna play
posting
you a
during the
clip
Periscope.
that also
My gosh, Carly.
in this book.
I love you so much.
And I had my Flynn hat on.
I love it. Hello, Carly. By the way, Carly, we have Nick here. Nick is a Purple Heart veteran.
Hey, Carly, how you doing? I followed you many times. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love your shirt. Look at you.
Oh, yeah.
See that? So let's go to Hello Carly. And Carly, why don't you stick with us here, because we're going to talk about the Atlantic article real quick. So hang on 1 second. Let's do this. This is Q post 4644, right after my favorite post in the world. Hello Carly. Hello Carly. This is highly coordinated, funded domestic terrorism. Feds involved, U.S. rights, C, surveillance. Decontrolled areas, media blackout, election gaming, Q. And it goes to this post right here, tweet. Please pray for Oregon. The last 24 hours, Oregon has been unreal. Last night, we had extremely unusual windstorms. Shady, you were there with those 80-mile-an-hour winds, right?
It was crazy.
Yeah. And then, so this guy says, Oregon is on fire. Pallet County in Oregon confirmed Antifa arsonist on camera. Douglas County Sheriff's has 6 Antifa arsonists in custody. Many fires in Oregon. Obviously, there are more to track down and arrest. Governor Kate Brown built this. What about that? And
well, I mean, we already have, we've had multiple mainstream media blue check marks bouncing around and acting like, oh, these are fake stories. This isn't real. One guy that was on there last night even saying, I've checked with local authorities and this is not accurate. And I'm tweeting back at the guy. I'm like, can you provide some sources on who you've checked with, Mr. Blue Checkmark? Because the truth of the matter is they're reporting out here that they've already arrested people. So I think you're just driving a narrative. But again, it's so interesting how they all get right in line against what's actually going on to keep Antifa, BLM, they're whatever it is they're doing to keep them safe. They just play right along, guys. This is really going on. This isn't fake news. There are really people being arrested here for starting fires.
You mean
there is an article that Real Dirty put out like 5 minutes ago that there are people that have been arrested, and also you had Hillary and Obama pictures. I mean, they're all in sync with each other. We're going to go with the global warming narrative now, not that this is actually happening.
Look at Jack Flynn too, by the way, Carly. I forgot to mention this.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Look at
Do you see this poem?
This one here?
Yeah, it's like, tonight I have no wind, not a puff. Ocean is flat, slow moving, steel gray, liquid glass. Have a calm night tonight, everyone. Rest up and find solace and prepare for the battle ahead. The next 7 weeks will be the worst. And then Carly got cute.
So deserving. You are a patriot. I love Jack. We love the whole Flynn family. And let's just take a moment and pray for the Flynn family right now, because they are under so much fire. And, we love our General Flynn. And let's just make sure he gets out of there safe. And, I think, Carly, that they're just buying time. You know what I mean?
Because
could you imagine if he came out now?
Once Flynn can have his voice,
right?
They're done. Because it's going to go back to ISIS and everything.
That's right.
If you've read the general's book, it's just a taste of how crooked and what was going on with ISIS. And now Antifa and BLM are homeland ISIS here.
Domestic terrorism.
Yep. That's exactly right. And, maybe it's a good time to maybe pivot just a little bit, Nick, and get into we kind of brought you, just thank you so much for your service. And we went over a little bit in the beginning about how, what happened with you and whatnot. But just like your just open thoughts, your take on the way the media and the Atlantic and all these people are teaming up against what Trump has, quote unquote, said about the veterans. And some, maybe just a little bit of personal perspective from you to the audience out there. Like, what do you see, sir? What do you think?
And let's put this in context. The Atlantic came out with this article on September 3rd. Trump says, Americans who died in war are losers and suckers. The president has repeatedly disparaged the intelligence of service members and asked that wounded veterans be kept out of the military parades. Multiple sources tell the Atlantic.
There's never a name with it. And because nobody would actually believe that Trump would say that. I mean, it was a couple days ago, I posted a video of Trump in 2007 being interviewed by Blitzer. And, I just wrote, this is why I love this guy, because I'm one of the guys that got messed up. It was about how he would allow troops to go to Mar-a-Lago on Mondays and stuff. He did it a couple times. And I'm like, that doesn't fit the narrative. He's been the same way since the beginning of time. That's one of the main reasons I focus on Trump, is because he hasn't changed since as far back as I can see in 85. And I mean, I was only a year old, but the videos that I watched, and, I know so many service members that absolutely adore him. And, I'm in that same category. If I could go back and serve again under him, I would. I served under Bush, and I mean, I was young, but God, I couldn't even imagine being able to serve under an actual president that cares about, the troops and their well-being, and the families. The families don't get enough credit of these soldiers, because, they take a lot of burden on when they're gone. And, President Trump, he always takes the time out to call the families. I mean, there's hundreds of videos of him interacting with veterans and family members and in hangars on bases and posts. I mean, if he's not very good at showing that he hates the troops, if that's what he's trying to convey.
Absolutely. And by the way, Shady, looks like we're buffering again, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Or I think we're up, though.
All right.
5-5 us, guys, if we're up.
All right, got it. And let me just...
You realize the guy that wrote this article was one of the main reasons for us going to war in Iraq, because of his bogus anonymous sources saying that they had chemical weapons. I mean, this guy has more blood on his hands than anybody.
Right.
Yeah, he could be the start of all of it, just to get the foot in the door.
That's right. I mean, these people were all working for the same thing. War is a scam, trillions. Okay. We know what's happening. We know. Anons know. Now let's just really quick, Nick. You served our country, and you received a Purple Heart. Would you just kind of bring us through a little bit about your story? I mean, you don't have to go too crazy, and don't be too specific, but.
Well, I was, Sarah, when I was 18 years old, I didn't really want to go to college, and I didn't want to get a full-time job. And pretty much my dad told me I had three options. It was either do those two or go in the military. So I tried college for a couple of days, just decided I didn't want to do that at that time. So I went to the recruiter's office. I signed up for the Army Infantry, and I really wanted to go to Hawaii. So they promised me that. And, I did basic training in AAT in Fort Benning. And then I went to 25th Infantry in Hawaii, Schofield Barracks, and had the time of my life. It was probably one of the best couple of years of my life. And then we got orders in January, February to go to Afghanistan of 2004, and we were going to leave in April. And we ended up shipping out on the 18th, and everything was good. The country itself is pretty phenomenal. I mean, besides war, but fast forward 3 months, on July 26th, I ended up we were on a mission to go down the same. We were trying to patrol an area that we previously patrolled, and we went down the same road. And within those hours, the Taliban put bombs in the ground, and my truck ran over it, and pretty much blew us to kingdom come. My gunner, he ended up getting shot out of the turret. And my sergeant, he was in the TC. I was driving. He ended up getting out. He only suffered minor burns. And then I ended up getting trapped in the vehicle, and I got, set on fire. I wasn't initially. The explosion blew out my eardrum, and I wasn't on fire. But at that moment, I was just drenched, and I was wet. And I didn't know what that was. And when I tried to exit the vehicle, it was actually diesel fuel, and it burned me. And I got out of the truck, and I, couldn't really realize what was going on, because, it was pretty traumatic. And my hands were burnt down to damn near nothing. My hair was gone. My face was the size of a basketball. Long story short, the vehicle that was behind us, we took cover behind them, and then we had a bird that was flying over, and they picked us up and took us to Kandahar, the wounded. And after a couple of days in Kandahar in Germany, I made it back to Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio, where I stayed for a year. and got the best treatment in the world. And that was a real reality check, seeing other burn victims and amputees. And, after that, it was a long road. I've had 35 surgeries and I'm 36 years old. And, I wouldn't change it for the world, though. I thought it was probably one of the best things that happened to me.
So how many years were you in the service?
I was in for 3 years. I spent about a year in Hawaii, 3 months in Afghanistan, and then a year in San Antonio, Texas, and then rehabilitation back here in Illinois. When I got back, I had to go through quite a bit of hand and facial, surgeries and physical therapy, but I'm doing fine now.
Thank God.
It's really a blessing.
Do you stay in contact with your unit and your buddies? Do you have your reunions?
Yeah. Me and my buddy that I got blown up with, one of them I do. The other one kind of went on his own way. But the one that I got blown up with, his name is Specialist Wade. He was a hell of a guy. And we call each other every year, and we never let it go by. And he's a hell of a guy. I mean, he's the only person that really went through hell and back with me. So
God bless you.
He knows everything about everything.
So Nick, this is from our webmaster, John. He's also served. He's a hero as well. He's like, we don't like to be called heroes. And but you know what? I'm a civilian, and I'm going to call you a hero. And thank you, Nick, for your service. What would you give to the soldiers who need help? Do you have any support groups? The VA. If soldiers need help and don't know where to go, what would you tell them?
I just reach out to battle buddies. I mean, this is probably not going to sit well, but we've lost more people to coming home from war than we have actually in war from like my unit that I can remember.
Wow. Yeah.
And I've had multiple soldiers call me in dark times, and it's crazy because you're complete badasses in our eyes when we're over there, and then when we come home, it's not like people don't appreciate it because they do more now than ever, but it's a mental game. Yeah. You got to be mentally tough. I mean, it's not so much the transitioning from soldier to civilian that was hard for me personally. It was the accepting of how I'm going to look from how I used to, but now it don't even bother me at all.
You got a beautiful family, beautiful kiddos. You've got a focus and a purpose.
Yep.
And now we're going to make that world.
Kids. I live in a beautiful community, and I got great friends.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty lucky.
You're very lucky, and you're our friend now. You're a part of the Q Army. We love you so much, brother, and thank you for sharing that story.
I'll wear it with the badge of honor.
Thank you. I would like to just really quick mention to not only thank you for what you did and for your service and for everything that you and your unit and all the people that went to Afghanistan did, but also on behalf of the American people, I think that a lot of the Q people would join me in saying we apologize for allowing our dictators to do this to you, to all of you, all of our warriors who they sent to Afghanistan and Iraq to basically sweat, bleed, and die in the desert for what I would consider no apparent reason. And it couldn't be more relevant than going back to this Goldberg moron here that just wrote this story in the Atlantic, who literally was the person who perpetuated the myth that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and then the need for troops going into Afghanistan, and then the whole prep for war that went on in the media, the fervor to get people to go to war and all of that. And, Matrixxx, I know he was with me, not necessarily with me, but in his circles was trying to explain to people the same thing, who were like, oh, let's turn the Middle East to glass, and all these different mantras that were coming out about Bush and stuff. And we were both in our own time standing there looking at people trying to say, like, look, this is not real. This is not going on. And now we can kind of superimpose that on what we're currently dealing with this pandemic, and the idea that it's not real and that it's not really going on, and that they're driving this narrative again against us. So on some level, I would like to apologize for all of us not standing up and preventing you guys being put in these situations that were not necessarily to protect innocent people, and that we're not necessarily to further freedom on the planet, but maybe quite the opposite, man. So, it's a multi-way thing. I really appreciate your service over there, but we sure do wish that none of it had ever happened.
Yeah, it's weird. 9/11 happened when I was a senior in high school, and back then, it was so fresh, and they pretty much kind of program you kind of in a weird way, like we're gonna just go right over and we're gonna just start taking over and kicking ass and taking names, and at 18 to 21, you can be influenced very easily, and now that I'm older, I look back and I don't have any regrets about my service, and I loved every minute of it, but like as you sit back and you look at it, you're like, damn, was it really warranted that we go over there, or were we just like a political pawn? Not maybe political, but like just like a pawn in the whole scheme of things, because it's like, what are we really going to accomplish? They're like, we've killed bin Laden, we've killed, Saddam. It's like, I know that Al-Qaeda and all them still exist. By the way, where's ISIS? But that's what happens when you have a real president that steps
correct.
Yeah, this no JV varsity bullshit. But the main thing is that, you just feel kind of taken advantage of. I mean, the purpose of being a soldier, all that I hold to the highest standard, but like, just the whole being a pawn in the whole game. Now that I'm older, I can kind of realize it and separate, right versus wrong. And, it's a humbling feeling. I got to see and do a lot of cool stuff, but, now that I see that the war is here, it just made me feel like, getting on Twitter, as weird as it sounds, and making an account and, just repeating the same stuff that I always do, I think it reaches out to people, and it's like serving again, like Carly is, you are, everybody that's, listening and on this podcast over the time, they're doing their due diligence. They're serving. This is what we're supposed to do.
And we all took an oath, and that oath was dropped right here on this show.
Yeah. And, I actually made one of those oath videos I've had 12 accounts. Twitter hates me, but I mean, I did a video. What's that, Carly?
No, I know how you feel. I blocked everybody now. I'm hanging on for my dear life right now, trying to keep this account.
I know. And we've helped Carly.
Listen, I listen to you all the time, and I always watch you when I'm sitting on the couch, and my wife will hear like, the CNN bullshit in the background, and then my wife will hear your laugh, and she's like, "You're watching that lady, aren't you?" I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Tell her you met her today too.
Great.
Now, and Carly had 3 accounts now, Carly? Is this your third, fourth?
This is like my fifth.
Yeah. She ran through a couple there, and then she finally, once she offshored herself to Russia, it's been running good.
Yes.
Yeah, that's wild, isn't it?
Yes, I outsourced to Siberia.
I was actually thinking, whenever I was setting up another one, I was thinking about maybe you could put me in touch with your guy over there, and I could get one.
Yeah, maybe Putin can help, us out too, Carly? Oh my gosh.
Of course.
So let's do
but
this.
I want to say something about, your service, and thank you so much. But where you guys, Shady and Matrixxx, you guys are like saying, no, this war is wrong. I was a New Yorker here, 9/11. And after that happened, and I'm still not over it, okay? But I wanted blood. This is how they get you in a war, where they stir everybody up. And I wanted them to go over and blow the crap out of anything that moved. I didn't care. I had no sympathy. I was angry, and I wanted justice, and they had me convinced that this is what we had to do. And sometimes I feel so guilty because they gave me that bloodlust.
And I worked in Manhattan.
I hope you're doing the service. I mean, it was the only thing that I could think to, besides the other two options. I was really excited. I wanted to go over there at certain points in my service and just start doing, going over and protecting. But, they definitely made us feel a certain way.
And I've always said this. I've always said I support our troops, not the politics. And Carly,
exactly.
I knew about 70 people that died that day. I had to fire somebody that lost their fiance. My buddy Frank, 2 doors down, Frank Sudoka, God rest his soul.
Yeah, this tomorrow's the anniversary, and like with all this craziness going on, I can't even go in the city. I want to go in there and pay my respects. We had to fight to get them to light up the blue lights because Tunnels to Towers was going to finance it. I mean, I'm never going to get over this, and I think more of it is not even what happened now. It's the guilt I felt because I got so sucked into their narrative and got so full of hate for so long.
Yeah.
Well,
and the guilt is unbearable
virtual hug to you,
sometimes.
Carly, right now. I'm hugging you right now, Carly. I love you.
And I would also like to just say to you, Carly, that I understand how you're feeling, but really pull back. And let's just realize where we're at here. Yes, tomorrow is the anniversary again of 9/11, and it affects me the same way it does you, seeing all that happen. But what we have to understand is like what they did. That event was the turning point in Americans really understanding their country, because what happened was they used that event, and these morons that you're seeing in the street right now that are running around in New York, Rochester, and Portland, and all these other cities, these are all people who were educated after 9/11, guys. And this is what we have to understand. These people have been educated against America because of the example that was set by us sending people into the desert for no reason. You see how they've spun this. And so now you ask this whole generation that were 10, 15, 20 years old when 9/11 happened. They've done multiple polls now of these people, and they ask them point blank, do you think that we should trust what the government tells us? And almost 80% of them say that the government should be listened to and believed. That was the big, large program in all of this, because they've weaponized these people's minds against America because of the morons that were in charge that sent all the family members over there to do, now with all this latest digging that we've done, what we've strategically concluded is that it was there to protect the opium. It was there to protect the heroin. It was there to protect these main lines of drug trade around the world directly out of China. All of this stuff was working with China back then. The fentanyl production in China, the sending it over here to debilitate people in America. So don't hold yourself so in disgust. Realize that this was not just you, this was not just us, this was everybody that they ran this narrative on. And part of what you're doing right now in this fight is we're all getting redemption. This is redemption. This is how we're going to win this, is we're going to expose the people that were the ones that were setting those explosives in those buildings. Those buildings did not come down by a plane hitting them. I don't care what anybody says. You can talk to your blue in the face at me about it. That is not what brought those buildings down, and we all know that. And your voice right now, Carly, is a lot louder and a lot more effective where you are for truth and freedom. And without those experiences, I'm not sure you would have been motivated the way that you are motivated to come to Q and to come to all this and to be a part of it. So let's just really, in theory, bring all that into account and understand that we were all fooled, not just you. Yeah. And we're all going to straighten this out, and we're not going to stop until we get it exposed.
And I want to just play this real quick.
On the latest building collapse in New York, you might have heard a few moments ago, I was talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing. 7. And indeed it has. It seems that this was not a result of a new attack. It was because the building had been weakened during this morning.
This was scripted, guys.
We'll find out more now about that from our correspondent, Jane Stanley. Jane, what more can you tell us about the Salomon Brothers building and its collapse?
Well, only really what you already know. Details are very, very sketchy. As you can see behind me, the Trade Center appears to be still burning. We see these huge clouds of smoke and ash, and we know that behind that there's an empty piece of what was a very familiar New York skyline, a symbol of the financial prosperity of this city, but completely disappeared now, and New York is still unable to take on board what has happened to them today.
Presumably there were very few people in the Salomon building when it collapsed. I mean, there were, I suppose, fears of possible further collapses around the area.
That's what you would hope, because they don't really know where to turn. That's the very sad thing. I think there's going to be a lot of very, very traumatized people that has hit them very, very hard.
So tomorrow's going to be reinforcing the trauma. Okay.
I can't, guys. I'm sorry.
I know, Carly, and me either.
I
But
can't.
we're exposing this.
There's nothing that destroys the soul. That, I'd rather you punch me and knock my teeth out than lie to me. And we've been lied to for so long. And tomorrow, every time 9/11 rolls around, it's just another reminder of what they tried to do to us, what they've been plotting for so long, and how they're destroying it, and I'm never going to stop fighting, ever. They're not going to shut me down in freaking Twitter accounts. I don't care, because this country, this world depends on, if America falls, the world falls, and everyone's saying, oh, global warming, and oh, one world order, we all need to get together. Stop it. Just stop it.
Yeah.
If America falls, the world falls, freedom falls. And as long as I have breath in my body, I am not going to let it happen.
God bless you, Carly.
Oh, my, never.
I'm right there with you, Carly.
Guys, let's
I'm right there with you.
let me just say that, I'm going to have to say this right now. So we're going to put on the armor of God right now for everybody, our president, everybody that's fighting, our midnight rider right here, Carly. Finally be strong in the Lord and its mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you've done everything to stand, stand firm then with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. In addition to all of this, take up the shield of faith with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of spirit, which is the word of God, and pray in the spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all the Lord's people. Have faith in humanity. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in God. This is the Great Awakening, guys.
Yes, it is, and I'm glad you brought that in, because we are coming around on a solemn moment, and this is going to, in my opinion, and I may be wrong, but this is going to be one of the last 9/11 anniversaries that exist in darkness, that exist in secrecy. By a year from now, we are going to have so much more stuff above the surface and so much more out into the light once we get past this election, that we're going to be standing and screaming with power very soon to the 280, 300 million people out there in America that are still asleep, the truth. We are going to bring the truth. Just like Carly said, it doesn't matter. Take the Twitter account, take the YouTube account, do whatever you want to do to try to censor and silence and stifle us. We are not going to stop. The patriots that follow this movement will find us no matter where we go to speak or where we go to stand. And great men like Nick here joining this conversation and starting to realize and sharing this information. Now, you heard what the man just said. They've lost a lot more people since they've come home than they did there. Why is that? Because people can't understand the world that they live in. They can't understand. It's like, the truth of the matter is, if you want to thank a veteran, be an American worth fighting for. How about that? Be an American worth someone standing up for. Be a person who is worth fighting for a change, as opposed to crying and whining and slapping around and calling people out in the grocery store because they're not wearing a mask. Be a patriotic human being towards freedom and realize that there is no other place. Get on a plane, go anywhere, land in that country, walk around. You think you're free? You're nothing to them. You're literally nothing. Here, you're an American. Here, you have sovereignty. Here, you have power. And we are not going to fall. This will not stop. In a year from now, mark my words, there's going to be a lot more information in the public domain about what happened on 9/11/2001. Because the way Carly is feeling right now, all four of us sitting here feel exactly the same. We are not going to stop.
And on that note, I don't think America will fall. There's too many patriots out there that love this country. I mean, I was a closet Trump supporter for a long time. I mean, I just came out, pretty much full-fledged like a year ago. And you know what? It was probably one of the best things I did. I feel free and I feel good and I don't take anyone's bullshit. And, I know that I'm right because, I follow the right people, Carly for one, in the Matrixxx. And you just have to think for yourself. And I mean, we've come so far as a country just to let this happen. I mean, I just don't see it happening. I mean, good is winning, and there is definitely a power struggle. And, I do think in the next year, there'll be big changes in this country. I really do, in a positive way.
This is not just another 4-year election.
Correct. Yep. This is about exposing them. This is not about the virus. This is about the election.
Now, I want to play this really quick for Nick and the Atlantic, and they can eat it, if in my opinion, because this is actually what our president has said. Why didn't they quote him in this article? Let's watch this. It's for you, Nick, your friends, and everybody.
The dignity, daring, and devotion of the American military is unrivaled anywhere in history and any place in the world. Every time we sing our anthem, every time its rousing chorus swells our hearts with pride, we renew the eternal bonds of loyalty to our fallen heroes. We think of the soldiers who spend their final heroic moments on distant battlefields to keep us safe at home. We remember the young Americans who never got the chance to grow old, but whose legacy will outlive us all. Americans gave their lives to carry that flag through piercing waves, blazing fires, sweltering deserts, and storms of bullets and shrapnel. We stand with you today and all days to come, remembering and grieving for America's greatest heroes. In spirit and strength, in loyalty and love, in character and courage, they were larger than life itself. They were angels sent from above, and they are now rejoined with God in the glorious kingdom of heaven. Wherever the stars and stripes fly, at our schools, our churches, town halls, firehouses, and national monuments, the names of these fallen warriors will be woven into its threads. For as long as we have citizens willing to follow their example, to carry on their burden, to continue their legacy, then America's cause will never fail, and American freedom will never, ever die. And with God as our witness, we solemnly vow this majestic flag will proudly fly forever. God bless our military. God bless the memory of the fallen. God bless our Gold Star families. And God bless America.
He's a hell of a guy.
Wow.
Well, thanks.
Breathtaking.
Just overwhelmed with emotion. I mean, that video right there should be plastered over all of, every single news outlet and everything. I mean, it just baffles me. It just baffles me.
Those sentiments that he expresses there are so genuine. It is obvious. I mean, you can't pretend that. And, and I think that it really is, the whole thing that he's been doing with America First and all these different things, that's one thing. But man, the way he has treated the veterans, I know people personally who couldn't get an appointment at a VA. And then he came out and said, don't wait for the VA, go to your regular hospital. get help. It's okay. We'll pay for it. That's what I remember whenever I was a kid. Like, that's the way things would function. And then bring in the Clinton Bush era, and it all got thrown on its head, you know. And Trump is trying to put it back right. And I'm telling you guys, and for you, Nick, I know that you've already served, but for all the other people out there who are thinking about serving or who are in the service right now, your president will not drag you into a foreign war that has nothing to do with protecting America. The only way that America will fight from here on out is if we are poked and prodded or attacked. That is it. And that is, that's kind of what most people that sign up for the service think is going on anyway. And so for all the people out there who are injured, who've come back from Iraq and Afghanistan, who are having a hard time adjusting, if you found the Q movement, if you found any beautiful patriots out there, please don't stop fighting.
I'll reach out to me. I'll talk to anybody. I don't have a problem. I mean,
we will talk
I talk to a lot of my friends during really rough times, and that's how you get through it. I mean, silence will kill you. I mean, you got to be able to interact and, talk about things. And, Trump is just a hell of a guy, man. He's a once in a lifetime president.
He really is.
Amen.
I mean, he really is. And he to me, he epitomizes what a leader should look like. I mean, we're kind of confused as Americans because we've really never seen a person lead. We've never seen a person really lead us. Like you being in the service, you've had people lead you. Okay, well, it's like we as a country have never had anyone that led us. We have been just fledgling around for so many decades. I mean, even going back to Reagan kind of tried, but Kennedy was the last person that really stepped into that role of leadership. And, they worked tooth and nail to take him down. And so I really think that we're setting in a new American century here of freedom and of what it means to be in a self-defense position. And that's going to lead me right into the last thing I want to say about this. Everything is being conflated right now as people are going around in America and they're pretending like the police are doing this and police are doing that. In the Rittenhouse case, Kyle Rittenhouse was defending himself, but notice how him defending himself makes them paint him as a quote unquote aggressor or a terrorist. The bottom line, beautiful thing about what is America is your ability to defend your person and your property with force. Period. That is what makes America different than any other country. Your ability to act in self-defense, in self-defense of quote violence, to defend yourself. And now that is exactly what they're trying to attack, is that freedom to protect and defend yourself, your property, and your family is the number one target of the quote communist takeover here. That is what they're attempting to destroy. And that's why everything is being mirrored and turned around. And like the McCluskeys over there in St. Louis, Rittenhouse, a couple of others, the Patriot Prayer people, at least other people, this is all coordinated to confuse the minds of the people that have went through school since 9/11 and make them not understand the reality of self-defense. And so that is really a big part of what we have to stand up for, is our ability to defend our positions. And our positions as Q and the president and Matrixxx and Carly and all of us, our position is very simple. It is the truth. And we don't deviate from that. We can re-enter new facts and we can update the mainframe, but we ultimately are digging for the truth, and we ultimately are walking around every day in America carrying it in our pocket.
Yep. And it's a hell of a time to be alive. I mean, we're on the verge of saving our country, and I just can't wait for it to happen. I can't wait for the hammer to drop. I can't wait for
you and me both, brother.
I can't wait for there not to be a two-tiered justice system. I mean,
yeah. So let's really quick remind people what is actually happening. We've got KC, Kevin Kleinsmith. It's the bottom to top. Okay, he's guilty. He pled guilty. Basically treason, essentially. That's huge. Yep. That's an 11-3 marker, bottom to top. We're not going to get Biden yet because he's in the, he's running. And apparently there's rules that maybe that you can't really arrest a guy that's
Well,
really
he won't
I
be
don't know.
available for arrest until after.
Well, there's a
November
batter
3rd.
change coming. Real quick, let me finish my thought.
Mark. Nobody major can get elected. It'll be election interference.
So let me just finish my thought. And yes, but I want to make sure people understand that things are happening.
Oh, yeah, big
We've
time.
got the executive order for 12/21/17 against China, the Xinjiang region, the very region that Hunter Biden is doing business in, folks. We're using the executive order against China. Why do you think the economy is so good? Because we're bringing back resources into your bank, my bank. This is happening. There are pedophile rings getting arrested. There are amazing things. Barr is talking about the Durham. You know, if you're a Democrat, I want you to remember the name Durham. Okay? Durham. Remember that name. And then you come talk to me later and we'll talk about Durham.
Yeah, you notice how Durham is so quiet compared to what Mueller was. He was that's how I can tell that it's a real investigation.
Right on.
No leaks.
And Carly, I didn't mean it. I just wanted to make sure that people understand that things are happening. Why do you think there's over 5,000 CEOs that left? Why do you think the best is yet to come? Caterpillar was put into the trust from Federal Reserve. Why? We didn't need that many ventilators. Why did we have that many ventilators? Why? Because we needed to give them a bridge loan from the Federal Reserve into the Treasury. They're paying it back into the Treasury, your bank. Why? That's GE and GM, folks. Why is TikTok, when he talked about TikTok, our president said it's a lease tenant deal. They have to pay key money because they have to pay us, you, our treasury, your bank, my bank, money to do business with us, not the Federal Reserve anymore. The president is the chairman of the Federal Reserve and he's restructuring it into the treasury. That is happening and that's a fact. We have record unemployment and our economy is doing so good. Ask yourself why. That's it. That's mine. Why? And with that, let's do this. This has been an amazing show. Hello, Carly is here. Carly, you're absolutely amazing.
Hello, Carly.
And thank you for jumping in. And we love you so very much.
Thank you for having me, guys. And it was a pleasure meeting a fellow patriot and a Purple Heart recipient. And you're still so young, and there's so much life ahead. And damn, I'd like to get 20 years back.
And he's got a Pepe shirt, dude. Look at the Pepe shirt. Soon he's going to have one of these.
I'll say it was an honor being on here, and I didn't think Carly was going to drop by. She's one of my favorites, but I mean,
I could have grabbed Mike Smith from Out of Shadows for you, too.
These two are very sneaky, so, you know.
Well, and you know, I could have grabbed Mike Smith for you, too, Nick.
I appreciate you letting me put my 2 cents in on certain subjects. So, I mean, I really
let's hear your final thoughts right now. This is it. This is your chance to tell the Q team, the president, and Patriots watching this. What, Nick, give us your final thoughts of what's happening and just
don't ever give up fighting. I mean, you know, I take a lot of flack from a lot of people, like I said, just because I speak the way I do and I think the way I do, but I know that it's right. And no one's going to tell me how to think. No one's going to tell me how to act within reason. And, you know, this country is absolutely the most freest and the best country in the world. You know, one of my goals was when I first started Twitter, I wanted to give Donald Trump one of the Purple Heart. And now that I'm thinking about it, I guarantee you that he probably wouldn't accept it. But if, you know, the other thing would be is if he could reissue it to me. I don't even know if that's legal, but he just brought out what America is about. And I just, for the life of me, I don't understand how people don't see it. But I think that the masses, like I said, are waking up, and the big things are happening, and we will win this fight. And again, take everybody you know, pack them in the car, go vote. I mean, don't do mail-in, go stand there and vote. You ain't going to get the Rona. So, I mean, other than that, just keep fighting, keep loving this country, and support our president, and support, you know, people like you and all the other patriots online that are, you know, doing the best they can. You know, General Flynn, you got to think of him. He's such a staple point in this movement. I mean, he was framed, and we got to focus on everything that's going on, and it's all going to make a culmination and come to the surface, and we will be vindicated.
Well said, my friend, and thank you. Yeah, General Flynn is amazing, and we've had Joe Flynn. He's a friend of the show too.
Yeah, he's a patriot.
Yeah, and we've had Out of Shadows in here. They couldn't figure out how it got 1 million views overnight. Even Media Matters or Right Wing Watch or something like that. It's like, you only appeared on a show in the Matrixxx, right, Shady? I mean, and we all prayed for that thing to go viral, and it did. And because we took action, and we took action to get that out there. You guys, the most red-pilled audience on YouTube, that's you. You guys are amazing. And Nick, thank you very much, my brother.
It was an honor to be here. I
God bless you.
appreciate it. Anytime.
And please tell your wife thank you for grabbing the kids for us and letting us have you for a little longer. I appreciate her so much. Okay.
Yes, sir. And thank you to everyone that watched. It really means a lot to me and my family and to the movement.
So you burn bro, YOUBURNBRO 173 on Twitter. Go ahead and give him a follow, give him some love over there. Carly, did I get your final thoughts yet? I would love to hear what your final thoughts are. You just got that hello, Carly, which is amazing. I fell off my chair, Carly, and I'm so proud of you. You fight every day. You're constant, and you're amazing, and I love you very much, Carly.
I love you guys. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a tough one for me.
If you need to call me, I'm here. Okay.
Whew,
Here for you.
I'll just say what I always say because I think my cackle is a secret weapon.
Oh yeah.
It's a superpower. So I'll say what I always say because sometimes I have to convince myself of it. Never, ever lose your sense of humor. It's what's gonna save us at this point because we're watching a movie.
Well said.
And sometimes it gets real dark, but I want to keep it a comedy for right now.
Well, and laughter helps us because we're dealing with very, very, very dark stuff. Okay.
Yes.
And sometimes we just got to laugh. And that's why the show, I'll break out my Bill Clinton every once in a while just to surprise you, right, Carly? You know what I mean?
Get back in the closet, Bill. Get back in there.
Get in the box. Get back in the box, Bill. So, but we deal with some very dark stuff, and we have to take a break because it's good and evil right now, folks. It really is.
Yeah.
This is a battle of good and evil. Carly,
it's just tomorrow's every year. It's just I don't know. It just feels heavier.
It is heavy.
I can't explain it.
This trauma has been reinforced in us, Shady.
They fixed up the area in Times Square. They've done all this stuff, and but for me, it just gets heavier every year. It's like almost like a burden, and until the truth comes out, it's not going to be lifted for me.
Yeah, I know, but it will, and you have the power. You've got an amazing power. You've got an amazing. They do not like us. All of us laughing at these guys, folks. They hate it.
No, they hate
because we see right through them. Carly, how can people support you?
Huh?
How can people support you?
Well, I got a PayPal and I got a Cash App. I don't know. I hate asking for that.
What's the PayPal? Please tell me. I don't care. Shush. Tell me what the PayPal is right now. I don't see it in your thing here.
Carly Bonet, I guess. Yeah.
That's KarliBonne for those that want to maybe give her a donation. She hates to ask. And she works her ass off. God bless you, Carly. Shady.
Bless you guys. Take care.
Thank you,
Yep,
Carly.
you too.
And hello, Q. Hello from the Matrixxx
Hello,
Group.
Q.
Hello, Carly. Shady, this has been a pretty awesome show. This is probably one of my favorite shows, by the way. It took us, take 3? Shady, what are your final thoughts, my friend? Shady.
It definitely took us 3 takes, but we weren't going to stop on this show because it's very important to counter this narrative that's currently running against your president from the Atlantic. And we thought that Nick would bring in a really good perspective so people can honestly see what people in the military are really thinking. But,
Hey, Shady, real quick. You're... 1 second. Just stop 1 second because Shady.
Yeah.
Hang on 1 second. Just stop. Let your computer buffer. They're making us sound really weird right now. All right, start over. I'm sorry, Shady.
How about now? Does that sound better?
Oh my God.
No?
No, but I can hear you. So just go.
Weird. How about that? Is it crackling on you?
Yep.
Well, I don't want to go too crazy then, but just everybody really pray for Southern Oregon. We're having a lot of stuff going on out here. Lots of people lost their lives and livelihoods the last few days. If you're out here, don't hesitate to contact me or get up with me if you need assistance or help or anything. But thank you so much, Nick, for coming on and sharing your story. And Carly, thank you so much for all you do in your fight. And the Midnight Riders will continue.
Right on.
This is my honor. Thank you.
And you're back now, normal, Shady. That was weird.
Okay, well, then I'm going to say that we are here to spread the notion that there's a clear line between the truth and the lie. The lie is there, the global elite. The truth is you are, because you stand up for freedom and you stand up for truth and you stand up for liberty. That's where we're going with this, and that is why we will not lose.
Not losing, Shady. I'm not losing. We're not losing anymore. Right now, there is Shady's Twitter. He lost it. He's at 66,088, or 6,688. So get over there if you can. It's Cabal Crusher with no vowels. Okay. And let me find something, Shady, because this show was so amazing. And again, we've got a lot of amazing patriots out there. I want to thank each and every one of you out there right now. Thank you for supporting the show. Links are below right here, down there. And please support the show if you can. And I just want to kind of trying to find a song that we can go out with, Shady. Hang on one second. I'm in our music links. Let's go over there. Let's find something fun. Let's see. What do we got that's fun? Because I don't have Carly's right. Oh, let's do this one. Here we go, guys. Thank you for coming. We're out of here right after this. And we love you. Share this show. I dare you. I dare you to share.
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill.
Red pill for me.
Stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Is waking up. There are enormous numbers of people who are now beginning to allow the veil to lift and allow themselves to see what they couldn't see before.
Where we go one, we go on. 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 Where we go one.
Where we go one, we go all, guys. Thank you very much. I can hear you guys. Can you guys hear me? Let's hear you. Of course. Yeah. God bless you guys. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Shady. Thank you, Carly. Hello, Carly. If you can support Carly Bonet, PayPal. Links to support us down below. We're going to be in Arizona October 16th and 17th if you can make it. Go to InTheMatrixx with 3x's.com, hit links, and go to events. God bless you all.
Can you hear
Can you hear me? We will not be stopped.